have talked about before. The enhanced ACA tax credits are set to expire at the end of this year, and this was really central to the government showdown we saw in October and November. And when they do lapse, over 20 million Americans are going to see their insurance premiums go up. A bill that addressed some healthcare cost concerns did pass in the House last week, but it did not extend those subsidies. It's expected to be dead on arrival, though, in the Senate, because earlier this month we saw dueling healthcare proposals from both Republicans and Democrats fail to pass. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on the moment we're in right now when it comes to everything healthcare costs.
Well, you and I have spoken about this before. There are millions of Americans who are at risk of being priced out of health insurance. This is not theoretical. This is not some sort of political talking point. These are real life stories, people that I've heard from, my constituents, who simply aren't going to be able to afford health insurance along with all the other costs, housing, groceries, and the rest. And we know from all the independent analysis done that people's premiums will double or even triple in some cases if this is not addressed. And I was really pleased, actually, that 4 Republican members of the House joined all 214 Democratic members of the House to move a discharge petition to extend those credits by 3 years. And that came after my friend Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, a moderate Republican member, was unable to convince Mike Johnson to move on any sort of bipartisan proposal to extend the credits for 2 years or 1 year. There were all sorts of ideas that were out there, but at the end of the day, very sadly, Brittany, Mike Johnson decided not to work in a bipartisan way, not to advance any of these good faith measures, and that left Brian Fitzpatrick to join with the Democrats on a clean 3-year extension. We now have to vote on that. You know, the rules are that if you have a majority of members of Congress who sign a discharge petition, that that advances to the floor for full consideration by the House. And I think that'll pass in the House. It'll be sent to the U.S. Senate, and then we'll see. We'll see what the Senate decides to do. I do not have a perfect crystal ball when it comes to the Senate, but I hope that they advance something. And the sad reality, Brittany, is that come January, it'll be too late. People are going to get that first bill, and for many, they're going to say they just can't afford it. And the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimated around 2 million Americans next year alone will just not have health insurance anymore. And that impacts us all. It impacts us whether you get your health care from your employer or through Medicare or through Medicaid. It impacts everybody. It's one integrated healthcare system at the end of the day, and we want to move forward with responsible and I hope bipartisan initiatives to extend quality and affordable healthcare for every American.
I actually grew up in Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick's district. I know just how purple, just how moderate that district is firsthand. And I also know that healthcare costs and rising insurance premiums, that isn't a party issue, right? That impacts Democrats, that impacts Republicans. So aside from those 4 Republicans that voted with the Democrats, I mean, what are conversations with other Republicans looking like in trying to find a solution here?
Well, the first thing, Brittany, is I thanked Brian Fitzpatrick for his courage. I thought it was a courageous step for him to work with the Democrats on this, and acknowledging that none of these solutions is perfect. We still have a healthcare system in real need of long-term support to, again, aspire to quality and affordable healthcare for everyone. I do want to mention also the bill that you mentioned that did pass the House on a party line vote. It was a Republican proposal that the CBO, again, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, said would actually increase the number of uninsured by another 100,000 people. So when the Republicans were pressed, when Mike Johnson and sort of the extreme Republicans were pressed to come up with something that could actually pass on a party line vote in the House, the bill that they actually moved would increase the number of uninsured. The other idea that I think is just wrong is to put people in junk insurance. So technically you cover people, but they have extremely high deductibles, and really everything's fine until you actually need the health care, and then you're out of luck, and that doesn't help anybody.